It's time for GMA3, Major Winter Storm. The latest on the rain, snow, and ice blanketing the East Coast as holiday travel season hits full swing. Plus, what's in store for your New Year's Eve. Post-holiday sales, where to shop for the biggest deals and major savings, the products to buy now, and what you should avoid until the new year.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating.
Movie magic at the box office, from Avatar Flying High
Sully's never quits.
That's right, Sully's never quit.
to Zootopia 2 hopping to a record. And the Avengers reveal that's a Marvel. Look who's a dad. It's time for GMA3.
From ABC News headquarters in New York City, this is GMA3.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the final Monday GMA3 of 2025. I am Will Reeve.
And I'm Malika Andrews here with Elizabeth Schulte. It is a full house today, and we're so glad that you can join us this fine Monday as well.
So glad to be here on this holiday week. Feeling very festive.
Yes.
Still looks festive around here.
The
We're
holiday
going to talk
spirit.
about holiday shopping a little bit too.
We are.
Also going to talk about the flu season, which is in full swing with cases surging nationwide. Dr. Darian Sutton is here with tips on how to protect yourself and your family.
And look at this man. He climbed Mount Everest, and then he skied down. He's going to tell us about the adventure and why he did it.
Yeah, I was glad to talk to Jim Morrison. An impressive feat. We're going to have more on that in just a bit, but we do have to talk about the weather because it's kind of gnarly out there. The top stories here. It's the latest on the new winter storm, slamming parts of the country. Ginger has arrived on the couch with all the latest. What can we expect this week and through the new year?
Glad to be on the couch and not out in it, that's for sure. So wind is the big story this early week. So a lot of people dealt with it this morning. We already saw delays throughout the day. And the wind gusts as we go through the rest of this afternoon and through tonight and tomorrow could rival 30 to 50 plus miles per hour. So that could easily cause big time problems. And where you add snow, some people will be seeing snow at the same time. That is not pretty. It takes visibility down really quickly. Also in parts of Vermont and upstate New York, up to 3/4 of an inch of ice, that glaze that can be so disruptive. There are ice storm warnings that are out there. And then lake effect snow takes over as we head into the new year, and we just stay unseasonably cool in the east. But big pattern shift for the West Coast as we go through New Year's Eve day. You see how the rain starts to come back in. Southern California is going to be getting it. The Sierra Nevada gets more snow. You want warmth, you go to Denver. What a way to end the year.
Okay.
All right, ending in Aspen, maybe. And this is why when I asked Will, do I bring like the cute pea coat or the puffer jacket
Puffer.
out to New York City? He said go puffer
All the way.
Yeah, especially you're a SoCal gal.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Even if it were 70, you'd think, ooh, a little breezy.
Breezy. All
You're
right, well,
tough,
Ginger,
but,
thank you very much. See, Ginger's making me feel tough with this weather.
You are,
All
you
right,
are.
now to the post-holiday sales. The discounts getting even deeper this week. Elizabeth, you checked this out. Tell us what's out there.
You know, this is really the time of year when stores are eager to try to get inventory that did not sell during the holidays off their shelves. So we're talking about some big discounts right now for shoppers. A lot of the biggest sales are for seasonal items. So think of winter clothes, toys, beauty supply gift sets, Christmas decorations. We do also tend to see some steep discounts this time of year on electronics. Take, for example, these Breezio Bluetooth earbuds from Walmart. Typically they're $200. Right now, guys, $21. You can see there, that is a huge deal.
Massive.
Also, some deals on Apple products, the iPad mini, $100 off at both Target and at Best Buy. As you're doing that shopping online, you want to put on that clearance filter. That's generally going to have better deals than if it says promo or winter sale. And always before you buy, make sure if it's final sale, you're ready to keep that item. You can't return it.
Yeah, that is a very good tip. Are there any products maybe that people shouldn't be buying right now?
You know, we do tend to see some bigger sales on a couple of items closer to President's Day in February, especially mattresses and bedding, big appliances like washing machines and furniture. One thing you can always check is an item's price history. So websites like camelcamel.com or the Keepa app, that's where you can actually make sure that you're getting a good deal and you're getting the best price.
I need to get way better about that.
It's not hard. You put it in, it'll show you the history, and it's a chart.
Plus, it feels so good when you find the best deal.
And
Yeah.
when you
It's
see
winning.
that you bought at the right time,
Yep.
it's worth it.
So I just listened to Elizabeth.
Or you can just, watch GMA3.
Yeah, exactly right. There you go.
We're going to talk a little bit more about the NFL push to the playoffs as teams jockey for playoff and spots and positioning. Rhiannon and Allie, you are here with this kind of the big moments that we're watching. I like how I'm talking about the sports here, you know.
I know what an NFL fan you are,
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Yes, exactly.
Such a big fan. Can you believe we're almost in the end of the season?
Amazing.
Hard to believe, and the stakes are so high. So teams are grasping at those top seeds in the playoffs. So the NFL was certainly full of drama this weekend.
Touchdown, Eagles!
Was this the Super Bowl preview?
Yeah, there's a little water on that turf.
The game wet and wild in upstate New York as the Philadelphia Eagles took on the Buffalo Bills.
Hurts knows exactly who he's looking at.
Jalen Hurts leading the defending Super Bowl champs to a shutout in the first 3 quarters. Josh Allen and the offense couldn't get on the scoreboard.
That'll work. Allen, is he in? Touchdown, Buffalo!
But Josh Allen and the Bills battling back. Allen even using his own version of the tush push to get into the end zone, putting up 12 points in the final 5 minutes of the game.
Touchdown, Buffalo!
Buffalo going for the 2-point conversion and win instead of the extra point to tie it.
Allen looking to throw. Pressure throws. Incomplete!
Coming up short and giving the Eagles the win and the Patriots the AFC East title.
Incomplete! It's over! And the Niners have won!
Overnight, the 49ers outlasting the Bears in a Sunday night classic shootout.
Touchdown, Chicago! On the opening play!
Brock Purdy throwing for 303 yards, passing for 3 touchdowns, and running in 2 more.
It has been the Brock Purdy show out here tonight.
All eyes now turning to Monday Night Football as the Los Angeles Rams take on the Atlanta Falcons. It's a must-win for Matthew Stafford and team if they want to enter the postseason with that coveted first-round playoff bye.
I'm just trying to play aggressive, play within myself, have some fun. I'm having a blast playing.
The 37-year-old favorite to win this year's MVP award, sitting down with ESPN's Michelle Beisner-Buck ahead of tonight's pivotal game to discuss his time in the league.
Do you hear that, Matthew?
No. What do you got?
It's Little Chance. Yeah, MVP. MVP. MVP.
I hear you. I appreciate
know.
it.
I mean, you're in those chats and conversations, and people are really banging on the drum. Do you like to talk about that stuff? Do you think about that stuff? Do you pay attention to it?
I got little girls at home that are chanting that at me, and my wife the same. You know, they're excited that their dad and their husband are playing well, and that's what's, you know, really boils down to.
I wish my kids would chant MVP at me, but Stafford has his own cheerleading squad at home. He also said he's at the point in his career where he takes his future on the field year by year. He says his family's going to sit down. They're going to decide together after the season if he's going to keep playing. And, of course, tonight he is focused on the game because the Rams are on the road. They're trying to beat the Falcons at home. That game is tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN, guys.
Only a couple Monday night games left.
Yeah.
She is MVP.
We will change it for you, even if your kids won't.
I'm going to call Mike, be like, welcome her home with an MVP chant tonight. Rhiannon, thank you so much. Coming up with the travel holiday rush, how to prevent sickness as best you can. Dr. Darian is a great place to start. He is here. He's got all the details coming up on GMA3.
We are back now with the GMA Health Alert. Illnesses often spike over the holidays because so many people are gathered with others. So how do you stay healthy during the season? Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton here with more. Okay, so Dr. Sutton, tell us about what we can do to avoid this. A lot of people getting sick right now.
There are a lot of people getting sick. You're absolutely correct. We're seeing it in the emergency room. And the reason why is because the flu loves cold, dry air. It loves when people come together and stay indoors. And that's what the holidays provide. And so unfortunately, we're seeing a rise in not just the flu, but also other viruses like RSV and norovirus, which is that nasty bug that sometimes causes nausea and vomiting.
You once said norovirus resistant to hand sanitizer.
I'm so glad that you listened. Will Reed is the best medical student. He is always on it. Yes, norovirus is resistant to hand sanitizer, reminding us that soap and water are key here.
That's not what I was going to ask you. I just wanted to show that I was listening. I want to get good marks. But you've been working the ER all week. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Such an important job you're doing. What are you seeing in there?
You know, I'm seeing a lot of aches, pains, high fevers, but most notably in children. When we're seeing the numbers right here in New York, we have some of the highest numbers that we've seen so far. New York, actually, with the highest number of recorded flu cases that they've had since 2004. Again, flu, RSV, COVID, norovirus. Now, you might not hear about RSV often, but that's a lot of my pediatric child patients who are coming in with the wheezing and the grunting, often infants under the age of 1, parents incredibly concerned. Important to note, there are ways to prevent this. Again, washing our hands, cleaning high-touch surfaces, wearing masks, and then getting vaccinated. Now, the flu is still unfortunately causing concern because it's very viral this season. A lot of people have it, but vaccines are still proving effective at reducing your risk of hospitalization and severe illness.
So I just went and got my flu vaccine this last weekend. Is that vaccine, does that have this new strain protected in it?
I'm so happy that you asked. Now, the flu vaccine every year is manufactured to try and predict what the flu will be the next season.
Okay.
Here's the issue. This new strain, subclad K, appeared during the summer, after the flu vaccine was manufactured. But the good news is that early data still shows that it reduces our risk by about 30 to 40% for adults, and for children by about 70 to 75%. So still helpful.
So not too late to get vaccinated.
Not too late to get vaccinated, and then really important to note that the numbers are still rising here. We have not seen a peak yet, so you can still go and get vaccinated.
Always learn a lot when you come on, Dr. Sutton. Thanks so much.
Of course.
Coming up, the Avengers are coming back to the big screen, including one of the original Avengers, Steve Rogers, as fans share their reaction and theories after seeing the Avengers Doomsday trailer.
Back now with pop news, and the couch just got a whole lot better looking because Will Gale is here.
You are such a good hype man. This is really building my ego heading into the new year, which didn't need any building. I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, thanks for adding on. All right, we begin pop news with movie magic. Flip it around. Winning weekend at the box office. Let's start with Avatar: Fire and Ash. In just 2 weekends, the third movie, which introduces a whole new tribe of Na'vi, has officially crossed $760 million at the global box office. This means James Cameron's Oscar-winning franchise has now earned over $6 billion with a B dollars worldwide. And speaking of billion-dollar franchises, Zootopia 2 is staying strong in theaters. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde's new adventure has hit $1 billion outside of the United States, which is the first movie of 2025 to do that, making it the highest-grossing Hollywood animated movie of all time internationally. Avatar: Fire and Ash and Zootopia 2 are in theaters everywhere now. And coming up in 2026, the wildly anticipated Avengers Doomsday, featuring the return of the original Avenger to the big screen, the first Captain America. And he's got a surprise. That's right, guys. Steve Rogers is back, and he's a dad. Can't wait for that. Avengers Doomsday hits theaters December 18th of next year. The running fan theories right now on TikTok are that Dr. Doom is going to be targeting the Avengers' children.
Oh, that's like a dark turn.
Nefarious. Yeah, maybe trying to like make his own sort of like super squad and like Vecna's
Next gen.
Yes, next gen. We'll see what happens there. All right, now the countdown is on as we say goodbye to 2025 and ring in 2026 with what other show except for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. And Ryan himself is giving us some hints as to what one of the biggest headliners of the night might just be performing. Take a look.
She's coming out to turn Times Square upside down, because when Diana Ross headlines New Year's Rockin' Eve, she'll remind you that in 2026, there ain't no mountain high enough.
Ooh, okay, so I heard upside down. I heard ain't no mountain high enough.
Coming out.
Yeah, coming out.
Coming out.
So it could be all three of them. I love the shoulder action, by the way.
The shoulders had a mind of their own on this one, so what else do we got?
Yeah. She's going to be great.
She's going to be great. And
When is she not?
Exactly. Can't wait to see what she's wearing, too. She's also a fashion icon as well. Diana Ross set to perform. We cannot wait. This broadcast is going to have the biggest performer lineup in show history, with New Year's Eve parties joining from Puerto Rico, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas, where Rob Gronkowski will be co-hosting one of the celebrations alongside Julianne Hough, and he gave us an idea of what we can expect. Take a look.
Julianne is going to be there, you know, as a co-host of mine as well, and she's going to teach me some moves, and I'm going to take my dance moves to a whole new level, and the world's been waiting for that finally.
We have been waiting for that. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest airs Wednesday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC, and Ryan is going to join us live on GMA tomorrow morning ahead of the big night. Do you remember when Gronk was on one of the New Year's Eve specials and there was a Lego thing of Steve Harvey?
And he spiked it.
Yeah, so
And it broke?
Yes.
Big time. And Steve Harvey wasn't that happy about it.
I wouldn't be either. Yes.
But he needed to take a joke. I'm sorry if I'm getting in trouble saying that, but
But all of that to say, you never know what's going to happen when Gronk is in the mix, especially on New Year's Eve. So very much excited for that. And now this is the time of year where you've had a chance to catch up on all your favorite shows and see the movies that you were wanting to see. So what do we watch next? How about the cheetah, which is pulling up the rear here in pop news, despite being the fastest land animal on Earth. The cheetah takes center stage on the Serengeti in Tanzania in the National Geographic special Cheetahs Up Close with Bertie Gregory. It follows these remarkable animals as they hunt and raise their cubs. Let's take a peek, shall we?
Picking the right target at the right time is a matter of life and death. Spotted a big wildebeest. It's a yearling. Oh, it's got back into the herd. Great herd defense.
Okay, for the record, everyone on the couch was rooting for the cheetah. I was hoping that the wildebeest would make a clean escape. The first episode of Cheetahs Up Close with Bertie Gregory premieres Thursday, January 1st at 9/8 Central on National Geographic and streams the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Can't wait for that. I love Bertie Gregory.
And we're all going to be sitting there on the couch once again saying, get it,
Yeah.
get it,
Love
get it.
cheetahs,
That
too.
was awesome, Will. We really appreciate that. Hey, coming up, a hero of 2025, the man who climbed up Mount Everest, then skied down, and the person he was honoring during that emotional journey. Find out with Will Reeves.
Welcome back to GMA3.
That's right. Welcome back to GMA3. 2026 is just days away. It's right around the corner. And tomorrow on GMA, we're going to get the celebration started early with Ryan Seacrest in the house. Seacrest in. He is joining us live as he gets ready to host Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest.
And we're going to be live from the famous New Year's Ball Wednesday morning as the fun begins. Ooh, look how shiny.
But before everyone arrives for a big party, we're going to have some tips on how to host. Make sure you have everyone has a good time. You're doing everything right. You're having a party.
And for the last minute folks like me.
Are you last minute? Well, the new year always comes at the same time. But before before this year ends, we want to look at what Robin Roberts does every year. She brings us a special look back at the moments, the people, and the stories that shaped the year. And it is called The Year 2025. And this year is about heroes and champions. And I got a chance to speak to an American adventurer who did something unprecedented and, before he did it, seemingly impossible.
I'm Jim Morrison, and I'm a ski mountaineer, so I climb up things with skis on my back and ski down hard, difficult mountains.
He makes it sound simple, but Jim Morrison is unique. In October, he climbed up Mount Everest and then became the first person ever to ski down its north face.
The north face of Everest starts at 20,000 feet and goes to 29,000 feet, and it's steep and unrelenting and just daunting in many ways.
Why do you do this?
I'm doing it because I love it.
Crampon Point, 6,000 meters.
I think I've put a lot of parts and pieces together in my life to go do this because it was hard, and I like the challenge of it.
Was there any point where you thought about giving up or quitting?
There were lots of times that I wanted to quit. There's a lot of doubt that goes through my mind of, can I do this? Am I good enough? And it's not like I just push that stuff aside and launch myself into this endeavor. When I doubt myself, I try to push myself to go, okay, that means you need to go do more and try harder. And was I scared of it? I was horrified the whole time.
As you summited Everest for this attempt, what were you carrying with you mentally and emotionally, in addition to whatever gear you might have had?
We had worked on this for so long, and in the process of trying to get there, I lost my partner, my climbing partner, and my life partner, Hillary Nelson.
Nelson died in an avalanche while on a ski mountaineering expedition with Morrison in the Himalayas 3 years ago.
When I got to the summit, I was just overwhelmed with emotion about her and the drive that it took to see this project through.
Morrison's emotional and physical journey, all documented by Oscar-winning filmmaker Jimmy Chin, who summited Everest with Morrison, catching it all on camera for an upcoming documentary.
That is, just watching on a screen, terrifying. What is that? What's going through your mind here?
I'm thinking I need to make this next turn count, because it's one, high risk, but two, I'm only ever going to be here once.
Morrison channeling his fear to achieve the previously impossible.
I just was so focused on the goal, and when I got to the bottom, the release of all of that was spectacular and something that I still haven't fully processed, both from the singular goal of trying to do this hard thing in life, and everyone and everything that supported me to get up the mountain and get back down, and a really special moment with Hillary and her legacy.
Just a remarkable achievement from an impressive human being doing such an amazing thing, and I'm so excited to be a part of Robin's special, The Year. I have a piece on champions. Jim Morrison is one of them, and you can see the whole special, The Year 2025, tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC, and it'll stream the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu, and it is a great show. Glad to be involved. And coming up, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most powerful positions in all of sports, the quarterback. We've got the author who understands them better than anybody else. Stay with us.
We are back now with the royals of the football world. ESPN senior writer and New York Times bestselling author Seth Wickersham has written a new book, American Kings, a biography of the quarterback, pulling back the curtain on the most powerful position in all of sports. We are so excited to hear Seth. You're talking a lot about this powerful position. You say quarterback is a lifestyle, not just a position.
Well, and yes, and like Joe Namath, I think, made that pretty clear in the 1960s when he kind of evolved it into a different space. But I think that what makes the job so interesting is that you have to wear all of these different hats that are very unique and different than any other position in sports. I mean, I was sitting with the Hall of Famer Steve Young for the book, and I asked him, like, what are all the things you have to do as a leader of an NFL team as a quarterback? And he started rattling off all these hats you have to wear, from matinee idol to field general to amateur psychologist, you know, spokesperson for a multi-billion-dollar organization.
Right. No small feat.
Breathtaking jerk at times. And then he stopped and then kept going later in our conversation. But what I was trying to show with the book is, look, there are about 16,000 starting high school quarterbacks in America any given year, 858 in college, 32 in the NFL, 10 good ones, and 3 future Hall of Famers. And what does it take to survive that winnowing from 16,000 to 3?
That's fascinating. And I'm so excited to read your book here, Seth. And we're marching towards the NFL playoffs. So we're like 12 days away at this point. And a lot of the teams that we're seeing, they're led by those young quarterbacks that you're talking about. And I'm thinking of our friend and colleague, Mina Kimes. One of her favorites is Drake May of the New England Patriots here. So what is it about his background that said, okay, yeah, he's going to be a good quarterback here?
And I got lucky. When I was reporting the book, I reported on a bunch of those class of 2024 quarterbacks. And of course, that might end up being one of the greatest classes ever. So, I mean, Drake May is fascinating because I think that when you're with the Patriots, you're always trying to figure out, well, what were the ingredients that we had in Tom Brady, and is there anything applicable? And I think that Brady, you know, he grew up in a very loving and competitive family, and he was the youngest. And Drake May did the exact same thing in North Carolina. Like, 3 of his brothers, 2 of them played basketball at the University of North Carolina. His other brother was a baseball star in college, and his dad was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever at the University of North Carolina. And so, for him growing up, fighting for attention, trash talking, doing all of these things, if he was going to stand out in his family, he'd need to do, he knew what the standard was. And it was almost like if you were going to be the youngest in that family and make a claim to being one of the best athletes, you had to succeed because the consequences would be sitting at the Thanksgiving table and everyone knowing that you were the one who didn't quite make it. And so he's someone who kind of knows what pressure is. And I think that being raised in that environment has really helped him in New England.
Where everyone's a good athlete, too.
Everybody
it's not
is.
like he's the only
better
athlete
than a
in the
sibling
family.
rivalry.
Exactly
Yes.
right. Much to that same end in terms of background, preparing for future success, what have you found with some young guys who are having a lot of success with their teams, like Bo Nix with the Broncos, Caleb Williams with the Bears.
They were totally different ones. So Caleb Williams was one of the guys I focused on in the book. And I mean, he was a prodigy. And, you know, he's someone who comes out of high school, one of the top recruits in high school, wins the Heisman his first season at USC, becomes, you know, the first truly professional amateur college athlete, especially for quarterbacks. And I think that, like, what you're seeing with him is he and his parents knew that for a quarterback to be successful, no matter how much we mythologize them and think that they can overcome all kinds of deficiencies on a team, you need a structure and you need good coaching. And they were worried about whether the Bears would provide that coming into his rookie year and wondering whether to kind of do what the Elways and the Mannings did and blow up the draft and try to figure out a way to have some agency over his employer. And it took a year, but he has an innovative offensive coach in Ben Johnson. And you guys saw last night what he can do when he has the right system, because so much of quarterbacking is doing the disciplined thing that, you know, taking the easy completions where you have them. And then the other piece of it is what Caleb Williams can do, which is to be Superman, apropos, you know, find ways to make those incredible improvisational, impossible throws. And Bo Nix, I mean, he was someone who not a lot of teams liked out of college, but Sean Payton loved him out of college. There's this secret analytical formula that he kind of came up with that led him to draft Bo Nix. And I mean, quietly, he's been the most successful quarterback out of that entire class.
Absolutely. Before we let you go here, Seth, we got to talk about Monday Night Football because we got a really interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Falcons here. We get a quarterback matchup in Matthew Stafford. Many people say he could be the MVP versus Kirk Cousins. What are you watching in this one?
Well, Stafford is someone I wrote about in the book also. And I mean, what's happened to quarterbacking is we like to look at like prodigies, right? And young genius. But like, it's kind of become an old man game in the NFL. And you saw that, I think, with Brady and Peyton Manning especially, and Stafford is the latest iteration of that, where if you can hang on and stay with a good team and stay healthy and learn from your mistakes, quarterbacking in the NFL kind of becomes, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier than people realize. And I think that when you look at Matthew Stafford, you're looking at a guy in complete command of the offense, of his craft, of the defense. And on the other side, you have Kirk Cousins, who's kind of become a little bit of a journeyman, but he's, you know, a phenomenally successful quarterback in his own right.
Absolutely. Seth Wickersham, you yourself are a Hall of Famer, best sports writer in the country, many would say, including this one. Don't tell Ray Thompson I said that. You can catch the Rams versus the Falcons on Monday Night Football tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN. And American Kings, a biography of the quarterback, is available in stores now. Malika?
So here's a question for the parents out there with children who are dating. Would you be comfortable helping them actually decide who to swipe right on? Well, if you said yes, you're not alone. And we saw a story about this in the Wall Street Journal and decided to do a little digging. Lara Spencer has the story.
Okay. Entire universe of guys I might date. Let's see what you get. Ah!
That feeling echoed by Sergio Pereira when he swiped through his daughter Mariana's dating apps for the first time.
Ooh. Cris? ¿Cuál de las dos es Cris?
I wanted to show him what it was because I kept telling him that, you know, the apps weren't going well. And I said, look at the people that are liking me and you can tell me kind of your feedback.
I mean, like, who are they writing these things on your profile? That's what I was thinking. And are they real? I mean, are they telling you the truth?
As he and Mariana spent more time navigating them together,
Nature, running, photography, art, books, Mariana books.
Mariana says he helped her look beyond all the noise.
I think he was just like trying to tell me to not be as close-minded. Like, I think I would very quickly be like, no, like out. And he's like, you don't know that. Like, you haven't talked to anyone. Like, why, you know, or
you can try. So let's see what happens.
The dad-daughter duo are among a growing number of people who are now swiping right on making dating apps a family affair.
Parents are great because they love you and they know you really well, and they can help to make you more positive about the whole search. Sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. So when you have somebody looking at, wow, this person seems really positive, I think he might actually be good for you, it can be really relieving for people and it makes it more fun.
For Catherine Sturgill and her boyfriend Jordan, her mom's help curating her Hinge profile set the relationship up for instant success.
Like, I really didn't think that I would be sitting here 3.5 years later with the guy I met on the app when we were creating it. She was just more like, you have to take that step to get back out there. And that was kind of the push I needed.
And if you're a parent whose kid is bringing you along on their online journey for love, experts share this advice.
Make sure that you are being positive and not coming at the single or the people that are coming across the lens with too judgmental of a lens. Finding love is the best job in the world, but it's the hardest job in the world. So remember to be positive and to elevate the person that you're helping.
That's fascinating. And the positivity is the key, right? Because at first we were thinking, oh, is this overstepping? But if you're going out on a date, maybe you're going to come home and tell your parents about it. And they say, yeah, we like this guy, or maybe you should be looking for somebody else.
They've always done the vetting, right?
Exactly. All is well that ends well. All right, coming up here, Beach House Rules author Kristy Woodson shares her top historical fiction reads to kick back this week.
Back now on GMA3 with our holiday reading series, bringing in authors to recommend books that they love. That's always a good idea. And we're getting things started with New York Times bestselling author Kristy Woodson. Harvey, Kristy, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Happy everything and happy times for you. You've got some amazing stuff out right now, amazing news to share in just a second. Before we get to your recommendations, Beach House Rules was a huge hit for you this year, and you got the idea from a story you saw on GMA. How about that?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So some women came on a couple of years ago to talk about how they had combined their households into a mommune, which was a term I had never heard before and was instantly really struck by it. And then mommunes just kept being in my path. Like I read articles and kept seeing news clips. And then finally one morning I was listening to a radio show and some women came on to talk about their mommune, and a disgruntled caller came in because she was not a fan of this mommune idea. And I thought, I wonder what people in a really small southern town would say about what was happening in a mommune versus the reality. And then I was like, that's a book.
There you go.
These are moms living together.
Yeah, so these are moms
with their
living together
kids.
with their kids. And I think initially for most women, as it was on the show, it starts for like financial reasons, but then, you know, there's a lot of emotional support and things like that as well. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun in my book.
I mean, you've got some fun news to share. We'll tease it a little bit. Some exciting news, not just for fans of Beach House Rules.
Yeah.
What can you tell us?
Yeah, so Beach House Rules has been optioned for a TV show, which is so exciting.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
And even as I was writing this story, I felt like all of these women had just bigger stories that could be told, and so I'm really excited to get to see this take shape in a new way. And then my book, A Happier Life, that came out last year, is in development with MGM Amazon for a film, and then
Incredible.
ABC Family, my Summer of Songbirds is in development with Hulu for a TV show as well. So.
And you don't sleep, basically, is what you're saying.
That is incredible.
It's been
Good for you.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
So we're going to have a whole lot of things to watch, a whole lot to read here as well. But next up, you have the Summer State of Mind here. And it's not a sequel, right? No. But we are going to see some familiar characters, maybe? What can you tell us there?
That's exactly right. So Summer State of Mind, we are revisiting a town called Cape Carolina, which is the setting of one of my previous books, Under the Southern Sky. And so it is about a NICU nurse named Daisy who on the first day in her new simple job in Cape Carolina encounters an abandoned baby that sends a ripple effect through this entire town.
Wow. And finally, before we let you go, we want to quickly get your recommendations. You came here to recommend some books in the historical genre. What do you got?
All right. Well, so first up, we have The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau by Kristen Harmel. So Colette Marceau is an octogenarian jewel thief who stumbles upon some information about a priceless bracelet that was sewn into the hem of her little sister's nightgown the night she disappeared during World War II. And she feels like if she can find the owner, she can figure out what actually happened to her sister on that night.
Okay.
And then we have The Story She Left Behind by Patty Callahan Henry, which was actually inspired by a real-life literary mystery. So a woman's mother disappears, leaving behind a sequel to her best-selling novel written in a secret language. And information about that secret language comes to light, and she goes in search of her mother.
All right, and you can get more of that information from Kristy and Beach House Rules and all the recommendations. They are on sale now tomorrow. Mike Albo joins us with his list of audiobooks. We'll be right back. All right, the last Monday of the year in the books. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day, everybody.
And we will see you tomorrow.